Hello, everyone. My name is Iris Douglas, and I'm here with my co-host, Ivette O'Sullivan. How are you today, Yvette?
I am well. Thank you. Good morning. Good morning. It's a
Good.
beautiful morning here in Florida.
Good. I'm glad to hear. I'm excited when you come for our visit. By the way, I'm super
Absolutely. I can't
excited
wait.
about
At the end
that.
of the month, we're going to be
Woo!
together.
Oh,
You're listening to The Vital Women of Washington Heights.
so I want us to share that we also have someone very special here, Maria Fernanda.
Well, thank you for the invitation. Hello, Iris. Nice to meet you in this way. Hello, Yvette.
Hi.
Yvette was already in one of my classes,
Hello.
and I really like it to see you again.
Absolutely. With that said, I wanted to talk a little bit about who's sponsoring our episode today. This is our 5th episode, right, Yvette? And we're so happy to be here. And we're bringing in this forum, this platform to bring these conversations on how to be healthier, on how to live our life through whatever experiences we're having through menopause at this time and what's good for us at this time with foods, energy, emotions, and having these better conversations for also leadership. So our sponsor is Mental Health America of Dutchess County, Mr. Andrew O'Grady. We are very grateful for you. He is the one that's sponsoring the Vital Women of Washington Heights living in Dutchess County. We came from the Heights and now we're here and we're just kind of sharing our experiences throughout. And we welcome you to also share any opportunities and please comment if you have anything that you would like for us to talk about. Maria Fernanda, tell us a little bit about yourself and what is your offering? What is it that you want to talk about today?
Well, again, my name is Maria Fernanda Hubeaut. I'm a journalist, but also I'm plant-based coach, nutrition, specialized in nutrition as an educator, as in culinary medicine. Basically, my life is always a transformation about how to become more healthy and translate all this information that I think right now is very necessary to be more in charge of your health. That is very important for me. And I think as a woman, we really need to take care more than ever about our body and our health.
Maria Fernanda, muchas gracias por estar con nosotros hoy. It's our pleasure to have you on our show. And I would like to start by presenting a question. What can we do to incorporate a healthier diet into our lives? As women, it's important for us to figure out what we need to give to our body in order to keep it strong. What changes can we make if we're not used to eating healthy? So I would love for you to cover this topic today.
Thank you. And thank you for the invitation again. And I think it's very important that you have such important sponsor, right? Because food are connecting to mental health. Totally. Because when we eat, in this case, what I really promote is a whole food plant-based diet. When you eat more plants and fruit and whole grains, really what you are is nourishing your gut. You really create a healthy environment in your microbiota. And that means that when you have a happy gut, you can say, or more really reliable bacteria, really you can increase your immune function, sistema inmunitario. It would be strong. And as a woman, we have so many changes during our life, right? One is the menopause, but the importance of this period that when you stop the menstruation cycle is how you arrive into that moment and then how you continue after that moment in your life. So many people, I think it's a taboo, talking about menopause. Right now, it's more conversations about and it's more open to talk about it. But I think the importance of nutrition is that really nutrition can help you before you arrive into the moment and after. Why? Because women are very sensible to stress and to all these hormone change during her life, right? And also the style of life that we have is very important.
Good start. It's very important for women to understand, that our bodies go through a lot of different changes and how stress also can affect our gut health, and introducing those type of foods in order to make our gut healthy, what would you suggest?
Well, I suggest really an increase of the fiber content of our plate. What is fiber? So many people ask me where you can find fiber. You can find fiber in veggies and fruits and grains. You can also find fiber in lactose or dairy products and animal products. That is a reality. What is important of the fiber? The fiber helps to clean up and release all the toxins, the residues that you have in your body. That is the reason that you have a double function. You nourish the good bacteria in your gut, but also you help your body to release and let it go all the toxins or chemicals or all these environment influence that can affect your health. That is the reason that fiber for me is number one in your diet. Fiber is in any, fruit and veggies and also in legumes like, chickpeas, lentils, soybeans. Sometimes people used to say, oh, and I have a little constipation, and they go to buy the fiber that is already processing. I don't know, I don't want to mention a brand, but it's very well known, Metamucil. And people rely on this kind of complex, prepared already fiber, and it's not necessary to go to an artificial way to produce fiber. It's just when you increase the natural fiber in your body, you really get good results. Actually, in this moment, in the American standard diet, people have more or less between 10 to 15 grams per day of fiber. And when you really increase the fiber to 30 grams, 40 or 50 grams per day, you are really able to reduce so many chronic diseases like diabetes, like cancer, and also helping you about how you boost your metabolism and also your mood when you have more fiber. Because when you have more fiber, you are able to, yes, exactly, and you are able to evacuate properly, and you don't feel like all the time you're holding and bloating and all this inflammation that go inside of the body. That is the principal factor that increase the risk to get all these chronic diseases.
I just want to share a little bit about fiber and myself. And you are correct. The over-the-counter fiber never agreed with my body. And it would create more problems for me, whether it created more constipation or it made me bloated more. And also, I didn't like the sugar. For whatever reason, people were like, oh, there is no sugar in it. But I was able to taste it. I'm very sensitive to taste. And I decided to make certain changes. Instead of buying the over-counter products, I incorporated more fiber into my food, whether it was eating sweet potatoes or eating broccoli or eating berries. I love the berries, the blackberries, the strawberries, the blueberries. And I find incorporating that in my diet has helped me tremendously to be able to eliminate waste in my body.
If I may, foods create moods. The food you eat also create how you feel, your energy. For instance, for me, if I have a good soup, I feel good inside. I feel warm and fuzzy. So would you agree that if you understand that your body needs this on an energetic level, that it matters on how you eat your food? Because there's some people that pray before they eat their food, so they can get that gracefulness of God inside them. But would you agree that all of these foods help emotions? And that's also important, especially as women, that we go through our ups and downs and merry-go-rounds and roller coaster rides. Because we do, because we hold everything. We do we wear like a lot of hats, like we mentioned. in one of the episodes. So I would say, talk to us about what is the best food for energy? What is the best food? What is the best combination of foods that women on the go, women that have to drop off their kids, they have to get in that car, they have to go to work. I think women need that right now. I think they need the fiber, but what is the best way to get energy and vitality pronto?
Now, Iris, I love how you brought up, women have a lot of responsibility. And when they're on the go, how do we eat healthier instead of buying food on the road?
Mickey D's.
Yes.
D's. That was my go-to. Hello.
Yes, exactly. And that is most people's go-to is to go to McDonald's. So what can we do to eat healthier when we're on the road for a long period of time because we're handling many responsibilities?
Well, it's so many aspects of this, what you mentioned, Iris and Yvette. Certainly for me, I think education is important. That is the reason that I consider myself an educator. And the classes that I provide teach you how to organize your nutrition. Because in reality, everyone knows that fruit and veggies have all these benefits. More colors in your plate, it's more protection, it's more nutrition, it's more micronutrients. But we only have the tendency to reduce the nutrition to protein, to carbs, what kind of carbs, and the fat. But in reality, when you are a whole plant-based in your plate, that means you have legumes, oats, different oats, veggies, and fruit, all the colors, and all that you can imagine. That here in New York, at least, and I think in Florida too, you can access to the quantity and diversity of veggies and fruit. In reality, everyone has that experience in some part of your life, knowing that more healthy is when you have more colors and more access to this kind of food. The problem is that we need to rethink about food. We really need to start to go back to the kitchen and do food prep. Food prep is like, okay, I have to clean my cabinet of this processing food. Everything that is in a bag or in a package certainly have more toxicity and more production on it. And that means they have colors and they have agglutinantes, all these things to preserve the food, to be longer in the shelf in the supermarket. That is the first thing that I teach to people is thinking fresh products, thinking what you can get it fresh on the way. A solution for me could be bring fruit on your way, some kind of nuts, nuts and seeds that are very important for your body. And also, you can cook very quick. For example, something that I use a lot is edamame. Edamame is the soybean that you can really boil in or steam and you eat. And it's a good source of protein, fiber, and also these micronutrients. But people sometimes say, oh, no, but I don't have time. I cannot think about it. But I think slowly and day by day, you have to take decisions about your food. Because the food industry don't really think for you and your plate. Everything can be un alimento. Everything can be eatable. But not everything can be nutritious. The value of your food, it has to be related to the nutrition part. And when you start thinking about that, you make better options. You really choose better options. For me, a staple to have with me is apples, tangerines, bring it, easy to bring it. Blueberries, I love blueberries. All the berries are very good. But sometimes you need to really wash it and they're very fragile to carry on, But apples, bananas, and nuts, this is a staple for me. And also edamame beans, or you can bring also with you some kind of, how you can call, dry fruit, but without
Dates,
sugar.
that's good.
You need
I
to
like dates. I like.
you need to really go to the the places or market that you can access to this date or dry fruit like mangoes or, apples, dry, that are only deshydrated, don't have sugar added. That is the reason that also I teach people how to read labels when you go to the market.
I'm going to piggyback on what she's saying about food prepping. It's very important, ladies, because
Yes.
as when I was working and struggling as a mom of two, I used to have to carry around my little lunch bag and stuff because if I didn't eat the right food, it was going to affect my moods.
Yes, and I think she brought up a good point. Some people say, well, it's time consuming to prepare a snack or a lunch to take with you. But if you don't take care of yourself and your health by taking the time to prepare something healthy that will agree with your gut health and also will provide nutrition, then you're not valuing who you are. You're not valuing yourself. And it's important to recognize that everything you do is to take care of yourself. Because if you are a mother or the female, then you need to maintain a healthy approach in order to get that energy that you spoke about, in order to have longevity. And nobody is going to do it for you. And this is something that we had also covered in earlier episodes. So please take the time to prepare a snack or prepare lunch before going on the road.
Let me just say this. When you're eating mindfully, you're creating an energy within your temple, within your body, within your nervous system, that you're taking care of what you look like as well. And it's important that you feel good too. If you don't feel good, it's going to affect your moods. It's going to affect your choices. So what you eat is very important. Pick your fruit, pick your vegetables, listen to your body. Sometimes you need that good cup of soup. Maybe you need that mashed potatoes, like you said earlier, like sweet potatoes. That's very good grounding food and healing food within. You see, food heals within because we are like trees. I keep saying that. We are like trees, so we need the good foods and to be in the good mood so we can have good, beautiful branches so we can grow beautifully.
But that's a great analogy, and that's an analogy people can understand, that we are like trees and they need certain nutrition in order to grow.
So it's like the bonsai, right? Que tú coges el bonsai and you're like clipping away and you're you're the bonsai. You are this beautiful bonsai tree that you make sure that you're a piece of art. So why would you not want to give yourself the right nutrition? You know what, Evie? People give sometimes, but they have to be in the right mindset, Mama, to get the right nutrition in. So you have to start with really caring about who you are and what your purpose is.
Well, in reality, my perception is like we forget about the importance to really be in charge of our food, means do food prep. And also when we go to the supermarket, make a better choice than before. That is also that I organize sometimes tours to the supermarket because people be dropped, in all these processing very colorful packets. And they say vegan, they say earthy friendly, they say gluten free, all this that is very common, and you can listen again and again. And you trust that product bring nutrition to you when it's opposite. Many of these products sometimes have a lot of toxicity and are the creator of the sickness or the chronic disease in the long term, Our body have an amazing capacity to really be healthy and detox quickly, but also it has an amazing capacity to build it up inside a condition that suddenly one day appear and you say, oh, why? I was very healthy and eat healthy. But when you start thinking in the past, you're really adding all the time this more sugar, more fat, all these, dairy products that have a lot of hormones inside. And you don't realize that you build it up inside of your body, all this disease.
Yeah, because you are what you eat, basically, Maria Fernanda. You are what you eat. So if you basically, if you we're having these processed foods, it gets stuck into our, blood system, nervous system, yada yada yada, and then it surfaces as we get older. So
Absolutely.
okay, so I'm just gonna share. Um, when I was in my 30s, I got into weightlifting. I was going out with a guy, my second husband. It was about eating right and yada yada yada. But thank God, because he showed me to let go of sugar. I used to have, and you girls are going to cringe when I say this, literally, and I promise you this is true. I used to have a glass of orange juice right before I used to go to bed at night.
Oh, wow.
Can you imagine all the sugar right before I went to sleep?
Mm-hmm.
And as he and I started dating, he noticed that. He said, "Are you crazy? You can't do that to your body." So he helped me as his experience as a bodybuilder on how foods are important to build the right vessel so you can feel good and be strong and hold energy.
Mm-hmm.
So I understood that. So it's important that you make the right choices, because you talked about choices. We talked about fiber. If we mix in the right cocktail of foods, we can create the right moods.
Plant-based nutrition is related to plant-based protein. It's
Yeah.
much better, the plant-based protein, in comparison to the
Okay.
animal protein. Why? Tell me why. Because it has
I don't know.
fiber, micronutrients. This is the case for legumes, soy, tempeh, miso, all these soy products that they have very bad publicity. It's opposite what they say. It don't create cancer. All these soy products are also very important for women health because they are prevent the cancer in women and also prevent when you go to menopause, the transition, it could be more slow when you have more soy products. This is demonstrated in China and in Japan. The women, they don't have hot flashes like in America. They don't have all these problems that the menopause can arise when your hormones start changing because they have better rapport in how to use the soy nutrients and also the plant-based protein against animal proteins. Because when you get a lot of animal proteins, you get more fat and you don't get the fiber. And then what is going on? The fat produce estrogen. And when you have a lot of fat in your body, means also overweight, you will be prone to have more hot flashes and more problems during menopause and after menopause.
That is correct. As a menopause coach, that is something that it was emphasized during my courses. And instead of eating, you speak a lot about the soy products, but I'm a big believer about eating the natural soy products as opposed to the processed soy products. And I believe you spoke a little bit about that. How do you incorporate the natural soy products? And can you give us an example of what are the natural forms of soy?
Well, you have the edamame, the soybeans, the regular soybeans. The problem with soy is when it's not organic. You really have to be in charge to choose organic and more natural soy product. But even, miso and tempeh, they have a little processing. They are good. They're good for the body because also it's all this fermentation of the soy product that are also, again, helping your gut to create more resilience in your microbiota.
What does it mean, fermentation? Please explain that. Because I trust me, I don't get it. I know it's something you take and it grows indoors, holistically, organically, and then it's good for your mechanism, it's good for your gut. But what's your interpretation of that? What's
Again, it's the good bacteria. Fermentation bringing
bacteria.
out the good bacteria. I know, especially in fermentation, and I'm good, advocate for sprouting. I sprout in my grains, means like quinoa, like
you.
amaranto, all of this, I sprouted this grain, even the lentils, Other good resource about soy in really helping you about protein that is an amazing quality is the mung beans. The mung beans are very, very good to produce in your gut all this support that you need as a protein and minerals. It has an amazing profile. When I was having COVID at the beginning of the pandemic, I was having a very hard time because I was a week and I lose a lot of weight I cannot eat. And the only food that helping me be back to me, it was only have a little portion of mung beans every day. It was amazing.
It healed you. It healed you. It healed you.
Totally.
Food heals. That's what I
Yes.
wanted to also, I didn't want to miss the opportunity to talk about that because food heals. And that's very important for people to know that, you know, it's like there's some foods that make you happy. There's some foods, you know, that make you warm and fuzzy inside.
So want to add, how do we ferment foods? Because it can be done at home.
Good question. Yeah. How do
For
you do that?
example, you can ferment cabbage, you can ferment pickles. Correct me if I'm mistaken, but is that done through vinegar and water and letting it sit for a certain amount of time?
Yes.
So people that want to do that at home, how can they go about fermenting their own food?
Yeah, well, it's a process that is very delicate about you need to maintain the temperature and you need to maintain the procedure in a safe way that it cannot release, you know, fungus or go extra. You know, I'm not a specialist about fermentation, but I really love kimchi also. You know, if you go again to Asia, in Asia, China, and Japan, women, for example, don't suffer the same like us in menopause. Of course, after 1990, the westernization of all this country, they start to experience more problems now because they eat more dairy and more meat products. But in the past, the Asian culture, what they eat, rice, veggies, fruit, and a lot of kimchi or natto, that is the soybeans also fermented, miso, edamame. And that way you can really see that the benefit, even in the blue zone areas, they eat very, very little percentage of meat.
That's right.
Barely eat meat.
And in the blue zone, people are known to live more than 100 years. And the reason that they live that long is not only are they eating small portions, but they're also eating all of that fermented food, which is very good for the gut. And maybe at some point we'll bring on a podcast and we'll talk a little bit more about the blue zone. But I wanted to echo what Iris had said in terms of the orange juice. It's been years since I've drank orange juice. And one of the ways that I incorporate vitamin C into my diet on a daily basis is whether it is eating an orange or pineapples, kiwi. All of the fruits that have vitamin C are so much better for you, and it's a much easier absorption than drinking orange juice. And they add sugar to.
Exactly. That is the problem. People trust in, I buy the grape, for example, the grape juice. That is very good because it has resveratrol. That is something that you really need to keep, your cells in a good hydration. But they have plenty. They have more than the 50% in sugar. All this, when I go to the market and say, well, maybe it's something there. But it makes sense that they put so much things because they pasteurize that it lose all the benefits. When they close in that juice and pasteurize, you lose everything. And then they have adding sugar and all that to keep in the shelf for so many days or months or years, even years. And look how amazing is our body that we exposed to that and we don't die suddenly.
Right.
It's amazing. But the body build it up inside the disease. And that is one of the things that I like to work all the time in my classes, and you was in my class, Ivette,
Yes.
is working prevention. You know, I'm already plant-based for 10 years, And I already see a lot of benefit on my life. I have Hashimoto disease. I reduced the medicine, almost out of that. I have fibroids. I never have any problem. And I'm in the process to go into menopause, but I still in my perimenopause. And I really control, I don't have any extra symptom because I trust in my nutrition. I trust what I put in my plate. And you imagine that you have that opportunity to be healthy, choosing what you put in your plate 1 or 2 or 3 times a day. It's like the best medicine. Really, nutrition is what we need to think about it. I understand that people have busy life, family, husband, kids. Also, I work with a lot of moms to really be in charge of how they nourish the kids, because our kids are exposed to so much sugar. And then when you have so much sugar in kids, what they produce? ADD, all this dysfunction in the behavior that the people think, oh, my child has some brain problems. No, it's the sugar, it's the food. When you really raise a kid with more into plant-based food nutrition, the kid will grow very well, and really it will have more stable behavior and are able to learn even faster than before. Because
Well,
it's more connecting to nature, not to all this. The thing is, our life become very lazy. We are all connecting through electronic, the electronic computer, video games, and even adults go to that and they don't care about what they eat. They put it whatever is in front. They don't think about what they eat. And then the disease appear. And you asking, oh, why this happened? Alzheimer. Why people that are in 60, they have a lot of Alzheimer? It's an epidemic of diabetes. How?
well,
This was happened before? No.
and to add to what you just said, a lot of that is the sugar. The sugar changes your brain in your body because there are studies that indicate sugar acts like cocaine in your brain.
Exactly. It's an
And
addiction.
And people don't realize that. So cutting back on the sugar also, produces a lot of chemical changes, and it improves your body, your thinking. And for women, sugar is not good at all because it brings on onsets of many different diseases, but also it affects your skin. Someone that is constantly using or eating processed food that contains a lot of sugar has very poor skin as well, and women don't realize that. So I wanted to bring that to light, that sugar affects not just your inner body, but also your outer appearance as well.
But let me tell you something. People are scared of eating more fruit because they say, no, it's too much sugar. No, listen, the sugar in the fruit is real, but it comes with the fiber. It comes with all these minerals that you absorb properly and let it go when you don't need it. But the sugar that we're talking about that is toxic here is the sugar adding to the product and also to the carbs. The carbs like bread, flours, all of this that is extra, not the carbs that are in legumes. That are amazing. The plant-based protein also stabilize the glucose in the blood. Edamame, all these beans, mung beans, soybeans, they helping you to stabilize the glucose in the blood. That is the reason that is when you eat all these legumes, it's very, very rare that you have diabetes.
Well, I just wanted to add in conclusion that it's super, super important that we do eat right because it matters. It matters. For many years, I did exactly that. I had no sugar. I worked with my body. I took care of, I ate well. I had supplements that I needed. And now at 61, almost 62, I feel better than ever. Because it's like you said, Maria Fernanda, prevent it. Prevent it before you get to the point where if you don't eat the right foods, then you're not going to have the right moods, then you're not going to look the way you want to look, and then it's going to affect your emotions. And when it affects your emotions, then it affects your foods, because now you want to eat bad foods because they make you feel better because you get an instant rush.
Yes.
Exactly.
I just wanted to share that before we close, because I know we were getting to that point. Maria Fernanda, I just wanted to thank you for your passion. You have a lot of passion for this, and that's what people need to hear and see. And I could see where you take care of yourself, because hair, when you when you eat the right foods, you could see it in people's hair, people's skin, and people's energy and their vitality.
Yes.
So that's important, that foods create moods. So thank you.
Maria Fernanda, for your time and sharing such valuable information with our audience.
Really.
We appreciate you coming and spreading this message.
Yeah. Powerful message. Powerful.
No,
It's a
thank
powerful
you.
message.
Thank you for the invitation. The only thing that I can tell people is don't be discouraged and learn step by step. Go back step by step to choose what you put in your plate, cleaning your cabinet, asking a good coach, check who is the person that can lead you in that change, because it's in your hands. Even it's not, as an educator, always I say to people that come to my classes that I also invite that they come in and participate. I have a class on menopause and plant-based nutrition, the 23 of March. And also I have other Spanish class, March 30, about how to buy in the supermarket, how to choose the product, the right product for your nutrition. I invite them to take these classes, make a little investment sometimes. Sometimes I offer free these classes, but really take the opportunity to explore your nutrition.
Maria Fernanda, March 23rd. I know
March 23.
I will be participating in that class. So it's March 23rd, and at what time?
And 7 p.m.
7
to
p.m.
8:30 p.m. Yeah.
Yes.
I appreciate that you come in.
We will be
Right.
sharing the link of your class in our podcast. So definitely we're looking forward to participating in that. Let's thank our sponsor.
Oh, yes.
Yes. So we just greatly appreciate Andrew O'Grady from Mental Health America of Dutchess County for believing in us, because it's all about our mindset. And he's all about supporting people with mental health and people with addiction. They have amazing programs at MHA. You really got to look into it, because we all have to heal, and it starts with us feeling good about ourselves. So Andrew, thank you again for sponsoring our beautiful podcast here of the Vital Women of Washington Heights living in Dutchess County.
And let's thank our beautiful editor.
Oriana, she every Monday, she's here with us, making sure that everything is operating right, and that we look amazing, and that we have everything connected. So thank you, Oriana. It's all good.
Thank you, ladies. Have a wonderful day.
Gracias.
Thank you. You too.
De nada.
De nada.
Gracias.
Bye-bye.
Hasta luego.